Did you get that hat from Captain Crunch, Uncle Peter?
Don't they teach history in school anymore? This is the distinctive tricorn hat of the Revolutionary Redcoat.
Those are the bad guys.
In 1781, 80 Americans were slaughtered by the British at Fort Greenwood.
Right, so that would make you the bad guy.
It's that damn Connecticut Business League nonsense. Your father wanted no part of it.
It's not nonsense. It's a reverence for history. We're going to reenact the massacre of Fort Greenwood.
All the newbies start as redcoats. Takes years to become a Minuteman.
So you work your way up and your reward is getting massacred?
So, we about ready for that test run?
Why do we need a burglar alarm?
What makes you think it's a burglar alarm?
Perhaps the masked robber emblazoned across this gentleman's back?
It's not a burglar alarm.
Sure it is. One hell of a good one.
It was my understanding you have some kind of stalker problem.
We have a stalker?
No, we don't have a stalker, and this isn't a burglar alarm. It's a home security system.
What's the difference? If I am to toe the party line, I'd like to learn the party line.
Well, besides keeping out intruders, which we're not concerned about, could you please explain to my already anxious daughter what this home security system is going to do?
Right, yes, I get it. Okay. You see, Lauren, it'll give advance warning of fire, lightning, rats, radon gas, carbon monoxide poisoning, toxic mold.
They make poisonous mold?
The idea was to alleviate fears.
Also, flood, infestation, or anything that might, crawl up through the drains.
Something could crawl out of the drain?
Oh, there was a case in Florida recently where a boa constrictor came right up through the toilet.
Okay. We ready for that test?
If I could have the prime user here at the interface sector.
The homeowner?
You bought the house. I'm a tenant. You step up to the outer space vector.
Please enter an easily remembered but obscure alphanumeric code. Oh.
Okay.
Now, the system is armed. If there is a compromise to the integrity of the system...
Like a giant snake crawling up the toilet.
Grandma.
The alarm will be triggered. If the alarm is not canceled by using the code within 25 seconds, there will be an armed response mobilization.
Wonderful! Fabulous! Make it stop!
I can't do that.
What do you mean you can't?
He doesn't know the code!
Write that code down for me, won't you, Amy?
Mrs. Stimson, tell me in your own words what happened.
I didn't even want to go out that night, but Alan thought we needed to spend some quality time together without the baby, so we'd used her before, and there was never any problem.
By her, you're referring to the defendant, Lynette Landers?
Yes.
How old was Franny when she died?
Coming up on a year.
Objection, Your Honor.
Look, we were at the movies. We got a phone call from the police telling us to come home.
Your Honor.
When we got there, Franny was dead.
The police said she killed Franny. She shook her. They said, "You killed my child."
I did not. I tried to save her.
Your Honor.
Okay, we're going to break for lunch. Mr. and Mrs. Stimson, I am very sorry for your loss, and I won't belittle it by saying that I understand. But we're going to have to get through this following the dictates of the law. So I'm going to ask you to compose yourselves, and I'm going to require that composure throughout this trial. Thank you.
Judge Gray, I have to confer with my lawyer. I was wondering if he'll be meeting your chambers at lunch.
No, feel free. I want Ms. Knox to get your job back permanently.
Thank you.
And then go far, far away.
So, who's she, the cops?
No, Mr. Callahan, I'm a social worker.
Why is she here?
One of Tina's teachers has reported suspicious bruising.
On my arms, because that's from, because I play soccer.
The bruise that I'm referring to would be on your back. May I see your back, Tina?
Does she need a warrant or something?
She doesn't need a warrant, Grandpa. She's not from the police.
I'd like to see your back, please. Ouch. Thank you. It's just the two of you living here? Is that correct?
I took over raising her 8 years ago after her parents were killed.
Do you have a boyfriend, Tina?
Nah, he doesn't allow me.
I have to know the origin of the bruise on your back.
She told you soccer.
All right. Thank you for your cooperation.
Show her a little class. See her to the door.
It's nice to meet you, Mr. Callahan. I need you to come and see me at this address.
Why?
I believe you know why.
I want to hit him hard right off the bat, knock him off balance. Walker v. Tate, pow, Bailey v. United States, TKO off Manager v. Rhode Island. They're bleeding on the floor, then I stomp on them with the SB 346, HB 102, and SB 481.
You're leading with precedent and policy?
It's the Connecticut Supreme Court. I'm going to jam both down their throats. What?
You're the big constitutional expert.
Don't forget that. Who got your job back for you? I did.
It's just that what you're arguing against here is systemic racism.
I'm aware. I came to you, as you may recall. You said it didn't exist.
Racism is an emotional topic.
Emotion is subjective. Legal precedent is abstract and objective. These guys want abstract. They live objective.
I spend 8 hours a day with a judge. I think I know what makes him tick.
You know what makes this one tick. Gives her office up to you. My guess is you know more than what makes her tick.
If you didn't come here to ask my opinion, why'd you come at all?
Be polite. Keep you in the loop. Don't make me regret it.
So you don't recommend the turkey sandwich? Hi.
Marshal Wilkins.
Oh, no. Amy, please. I'm here to apologize.
I asked you to stay away from me and my family.
There's been a misunderstanding.
Is there a problem, Judge Gray?
Yes,
No.
this gentleman has no business in the courthouse. He's harassing me.
No, sir. Amy, I just want... I'm so sorry. I just want to apologize. Please, I'm trying really hard. Don't be angry at me.
Traffic violation, Judge Gray. He has legit business in the courthouse.
Well, I have an ongoing problem with this individual.
It's a misunderstanding.
He has broken into my home. He has left me messages and suggestive notes.
Well, if you just let me apologize and explain...
I'll show you where you should be, sir.
I know where I should be. Just 5 minutes, please.
You stay away from me, Mr. Lupdell. And if you don't, I will obtain a restraining order and put you in jail.
I'm here to see Dr. Redeker.
Dr. Redeker doesn't see pharmaceutical reps.
No, I'm not a salesman. Well, I am, but I'm not here today to sell pharmaceuticals. Though, if you could provide me with a contact name, I'd appreciate it.
Why are you here?
I have an interview for a residence position I would like to cancel.
Great.
You're kind of long in the tooth to be a resident anyway.
Where's Dr. Redeker?
Busy and back. And why are you postponing?
I'm not postponing. I'm canceling.
You probably wouldn't have gotten the job anyway.
What is with the superior attitude? This is everybody's last stop before giving up medicine to go into chiropractic. It's the worst teaching hospital in Connecticut.
Is that why you're canceling?
Meet Dr. Redeker.
No, I'm canceling. As you know from my resume, I'm a recovering drug addict. I've already been through a ton of these interviews, so we both know that you're not going to risk giving me a position here. Plus, I already have a very good job now, so why waste your time?
Are you sober today?
Yeah?
Will you be sober tomorrow?
That's my intention.
Good, then I'll see you tomorrow.
Why?
Because I'll decide what's a waste of time.
The typical injuries in shaken baby syndrome include swelling of the brain, retinal bleeding, and bleeding in the area surrounding the brain.
And Dr. Norwood, did you find evidence of these injuries when you conducted the autopsy on Francis Stimson?
Yes, I did.
And it's your opinion that these injuries caused Francis Stimson's death?
Francis Stimson died of hypoxia caused by broken blood vessels in the brain. Shaken baby syndrome is my diagnosis.
Those are my questions, Your Honor.
Is it not true that hypoxia can be caused by an impact injury?
There were no contusions to suggest an impact injury.
How do you explain the fact that Francis Stimson bled from her brainstem?
Well, bleeding from the brainstem is unusual in shaken baby syndrome. It's true, but we...
Common in impact injuries, say from a fall.
More common, certainly.
Consistent with my client's contention that Franny fell from her crib onto a thick carpet.
Yes, but...
Now, Dr. Norwood, in shaken baby syndrome, there is retinal hemorrhaging, correct?
Yes.
And it has a distinctive flame shape.
Typically.
Can retinal hemorrhaging result from the application of CPR?
Well, CPR produces what we call pin dot retinal hemorrhages.
Did you find retinal hemorrhaging in Francis Stimson?
Yes.
How would you characterize the shape?
Irregular, splotchy.
In short, the kind of hemorrhage you might expect to find if a 15-year-old girl performed CPR on a baby who had suffered a head injury and stopped breathing.
Objection, Your Honor. Narrative.
Sustained.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm done.
What does Kyle want?
He was a little mysterious about that.
Forgiveness. He wants forgiveness.
What did he do?
Grandma's angry at him for giving up his Teen Harbor job and taking a fat cat yuppie job.
Are you mad at him for that?
Of course not.
Grandma, you pinned my pants to my sock.
The Syntec 3000? Isn't that a little bit of overkill?
Not in my opinion.
Does anyone else feel the urge to shout 1 if by land, 2 if by sea?
Peter was made a Minuteman.
I thought you were a newbie redcoat.
I know. It's kind of a miracle. No one has ever skipped Redcoat and gone straight to Minuteman before.
Jillian thinks it has something to do with the engagement announcement.
I wasn't going to say that.
What engagement announcement?
It doesn't have anything to do with the engagement announcement. Did you ever think people are just beginning to appreciate my quiet march of success?
Oh, no.
Cool.
How did this happen?
He asked you. You said yes.
You can't very well keep something like this quiet. It could be the biggest social event of the year.
After the massacre of Fort Greenwood.
And you think it's a coincidence that you are given this big honor on the very day this announcement appears in the paper?
It is a coincidence. Isn't it, Amy?
Yeah, well, I don't know, Peter. If it usually takes more than a minute to become a Minuteman.
Is it impossible to fathom that people might want to get to know me?
I can't tell you all how uncomfortable it makes me for you to capitalize on Jared's name.
I'm capitalizing on the name Peter Gray. I've been running Gray and Gray all by myself for years. I haven't needed the great Jared Duff yet. I come over here thinking you'll be happy for me, but instead you imply I'm some blood-sucking gold digger. I'm leaving now, Mother.
I'm sorry. Enter the kill code and then push disarm.
My timing good, Maxine?
As good as ever.
What do you think of this?
It's an overblown gas-guzzling status symbol designed for a weak personality with manhood issues, and I will not co-sign a loan for it if that's why you're here.
No. No, Aunt Max. That's my company car. I pick it up tomorrow.
It's ludicrous.
Yes. But since I am no longer paying for a car or gas...
4 checks for $500 each.
I got a little behind on the rent. I want to pay you back.
They're post-dated.
Well, give me a break. I've only been at it a couple of weeks, but symbolically, I wanted to give you the whole amount.
In a week or a month, when you walk out on this job, too, you're going to be obliged to stop payment on these.
What do you mean? I am great at sales.
You were great at Teen Harbor.
I left to move up, to do better. What is wrong with making a life? Do we all have to live in the muck just because you have for 30 years?
I love you, Kyle. But you're flighty. And when you come and ask me, please not to cash these checks, I hope that you remember Teen Harbor, symbolically. Amy's heating up a pizza. Would you like some?
You sound just like my father.
No, that's just mean.
Why? You're exactly like him. You don't want anyone to grow or to do better because as long as they stay small, you get to be the matriarch.
So you don't want pizza?
What are you doing here?
Came to wish you luck.
I don't need luck. I've got God and history on my side. What do I need luck for?
You are a difficult person.
I'm in warrior mode. You might like me better if I weren't in warrior mode, but this is the way I have to be, here, today, doing what I do. I don't expect you to understand.
What do you mean? You don't know me. I'm just another number to you, a demographic.
Whose fault is that? I come to you, a black man looking for ammunition to fight a good fight, and you barely give me the time of day. You've buried yourself so far down, all you can think about are the roles you play. I'm a good father, I'm a good employee, I'm a good citizen.
There's worse things to be.
There's better things to be, too. What the hell made you like this? I apologize. I'm sorry. I guess I'm nervous.
That's hard to believe.
I've never done this before. Argued in front of the Supreme Court.
You certainly implied otherwise.
I apologized for being snappish. I confided in you, and now you want to argue about it?
Miss Knox, you're up next.
Yes, thank you.
Zola. I was in high school.
What? You're gonna confide in me now? Before I have to go in to address the state Supreme Court?
My uncle worked at a used car lot. He let me drive a Buick for a date. Now, this was a fine girl, somebody I had big feelings for. Naturally, I got pulled over. White cops. They ruined the car looking for drugs, made me take off my pants, humiliated me in front of my date. You need details?
I know the details.
I decided right then to carry myself in a manner which would not allow for humiliation.
You became invisible.
That's not how I see it.
Miss Knox, justice is ready for you.
Go be a part of history. You gotta know I mean it when I say good luck.
Thank you.
Your turn, Miss Callahan.
Okay, so I'm here.
Thank you for coming, Tina. Do you need something to drink?
No, is this gonna take long? Because my Gramps is waiting for me at home.
How's your back?
Fine. Doesn't hurt.
Well, I'm sure that's not true. Having a cane broken over your back must be quite painful.
He didn't break it over my back. I broke it. Later, I stuck it between the refrigerator and the wall, and I kicked it.
Why did he strike you? Your grandfather is a pretty tough old man.
Used to be a boxer in the Navy. There's no way I could hurt him. Not really.
Have you tried to hurt him?
There's yelling.
That's all. Yelling. Yelling is one thing. But if
we get
there
into
is-
it sometimes, I guess. Irish, you know?
I'll tell you what I think. I think that It's very hard work, taking care of an old person, even for an adult. And it's not fair for a 15-year-old girl to have to do it.
I love him.
Of course you do.
Mostly we take care of each other. It's just that sometimes
Families can be complicated sometimes.
Don't look like a doctor.
You look like a salesman.
Has the interview started?
I'm interested to know why St. Michael's was your last choice.
Honestly, you're underfunded. No matter what my specialty, you'd have me doing everything all the time. You have a reputation for getting very low-level applicants. The hospital may not be in existence in another year, and most of your equipment wouldn't pass muster in downtown Russia.
What do you think is wrong with this?
Is that a trick question? Oh, I'd say frostbite, stasis ulcer, and some kind of secondary infection.
How would you treat it?
First, I'd wash it.
Not get a nurse to do it?
No, I'd wash it myself, get a good look, send out some labs. Looks like there's some dead tissue that needs debriding. Maybe an ultrasound to rule out a blood clot.
Sounds good to me.
Have you ever had your ass removed from a sling by a nurse?
My first year of residency, I had a nurse prevent me from sending a man into insulin shock, which counts, I suppose, as having my ass removed from a sling. Of course, she was sleeping with me at the time, so she owed me. That probably wouldn't be an issue with you, but who knows, right? Are you going to ask me any real questions?
How would you treat intestinal pinworm?
I believe it's treatable with pyrantyl pamoate. Are you going to ask me real questions that aren't nauseating? Because my specialty is neurosurgery.
Antibiotic ointment, light gauze, vancomycin, IV drip. Take him upstairs.
I like you. You're jaunty.
You be good, Gus.
Is this for real?
I have a few questions about trauma, if you don't mind.
So, how'd it go?
Hard to say. It's not like they applaud or anything. They ask questions, which could be taken as a good sign.
Were you persuasive?
I'm always persuasive. Whether they were persuaded is another matter. Oh, it's like talking to Mount Rushmore in there.
So how long before they rule?
It could take hours, days, weeks. And tell you what, I'll give you a call.
You'll call me?
Do you want me to call you?
If you want to call me, yeah. I like it if you call me.
I took your advice. I went with emotion, so if this all turns to crap, it'll be your fault.
I was on the phone talking to my friend Candace, and I heard a thump from upstairs, so I hung up. I went upstairs, and it was...
Take your time.
The baby was lying on the carpet next to the crib, and it wasn't breathing. But I know CPR, but it didn't work. So I called 911. Then I went back upstairs, and I did CPR until the ambulance came.
Miss Landers, did you ever shake Franny?
No, I never did that. Never.
Thank you. Your Honor?
Cross, Miss Patterson.
So how long were you on the phone with your friend Candace?
I don't know. Maybe 10 minutes.
What do you make of Candace Gallagher's contention that she heard Francis crying right before you hung up?
Objection, Your Honor. Candace Gallagher said she might have heard a baby crying.
I'll allow it.
No, there was no crying, just the thump.
Well, Candace said that she heard crying. And then you uttered a profanity. And then you said, and I quote, "There it goes again. I'm going crazy." Then you hung up.
But I didn't mean anything by that.
Let's talk about what really happened that night, Lynette. You were on the phone with your friend. Frances started crying.
No.
She wouldn't stop crying, so you interrupted your phone call and you went upstairs and you shook her to make her stop, didn't you?
Your Honor.
And then you realized that you'd gone too far, so you called 911 in a panic, but by then it was too late, wasn't it?
Your Honor.
Okay, Miss Patterson, that's enough.
Yes, Your Honor, no more questions.
Well, I have some. Did you like Franny Stimson?
What do you mean?
You babysat for her a few times. What was she like?
Like, nothing. A baby.
I'm interested because you keep referring to Franny as it, not by name or her.
I guess because after she was dead, it was like, it wasn't like a person.
How did it feel to see her lying on the ground, not breathing?
How do you think I felt? I was scared. I mean, here's this little baby not breathing. People are gonna think I did something to it. Her. Now, look what happened. Everybody thinks I did something bad. I didn't. I tried to save her. Why are you asking me all these questions? I tried to save her. Isn't that all that matters?
What matters is why Franny needed saving in the first place. Lauren, you cannot stay up until 11 o'clock. Because it's a school night. I know, but... Hey, sweetheart, can we talk about it when I get home? Yeah, tell Grandma I'm coming home in about 20 minutes, okay? Okay, love you. Bye.
Oh my God!
Okay. Don't freak out.
Give me my keys or I'm gonna scream.
Please tell me this. 1 minute. I'm picking up your files, okay? That's all. I'm trying to help you here. Look, if I scare you, just press your panic button. Someone will come. Here. Do you remember why you put me in jail? It was because I said fires. Remember? In court. I watched you. When they talked about the fires, I could see you were sad. Like I disappointed you. You looked into my eyes when you spoke to me. We had a connection. I could see that you really cared about what happened to me. I'm reluctant to give up on Jason Lobel. He's been abandoned by his parents, by the foster system, by everyone who's ever borne any responsibility to him. He's a victim, and he deserves our compassion.
You defiled every picture of me in that album.
I'm an idiot. I do stupid things. I scare people. I blamed you. I now know it was the system that kept us apart. I thought the words you said to me meant you cared for me. I now realize that I bent it all out of shame. Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you, and I'm sorry.
Judge Gray. I got here as quickly as I could.
This is the last you'll see of me. Goodbye.
Mr. Callahan, if you apply to the Department of Social Services, the state will make available to you several programs. Meals on Wheels, medical checkups, a weekly visit from a nurse, free transportation to a senior citizen center for recreation.
It's welfare. It's all welfare. Forget it. We don't need any help.
For example, I can't help but notice that your cane is broken. You could have that replaced.
Fixed it. It's fine.
A single grandparent on a veteran's pension raising a teenage child alone would certainly qualify for many benefits.
Are you deaf? We don't want any welfare.
You were in the service.
The Navy man for 25 years.
You're ashamed. I understand that.
We make ends meet. There's no shame in that.
No, sir. I'm referring to the feeling of helplessness you have when your granddaughter abuses you.
You get off my porch.
A Navy man, a Korean War veteran reduced to fighting a child. But I think the thing you're most ashamed of is hitting her back. You struck your grandchild with your cane, sir. For that alone, I am empowered by the state to remove her. But that would mean that she goes into the foster system. And I'm afraid that would break her heart and yours. Because I believe despite your problems, you love one another.
It'll never happen again. I give you my promise. She can beat me senseless. I will never lift a hand against her again.
Mr. Callahan, I don't know how it starts or who hits who first. I honestly can't tell. But I do know that you need to set aside your pride and allow us to help you and your granddaughter.
You want me to sign that paper?
Yes, sir.
Asking for charity galls me. Do you understand that? It galls me to the bitter end.
Mr. Callahan, you serve this country. There's no charity here. Whatever we can give back to you, you have more than earned.
You will. Thank you for that.
Dr. Redeker, good morning. I'm glad you decided to meet with me. I have some very exciting news about generic pharmaceuticals.
I don't talk to salesmen. I'm offering you a residency position. When can you start?
Wait. I've been to 8 of these and nobody... You're offering me a job?
You attended Harvard as an undergrad and you graduated 5th in your class from Johns Hopkins.
And then took drugs and nearly killed somebody.
You're not on drugs now. You're in the program.
But I have a job, a very high-paying job as a pharmaceutical rep.
Well, that's almost like being a doctor, I guess.
Did you call my references?
I don't care about your references. In fact, I don't care if I have to fire you in the first week. Because next year, when we start looking for our new batch of interns, I can put a little line in our brochure that says St. Mike's, the choice of Harvard and Johns Hopkins. I'm going to turn this heap into a respected medical center, and you're going to help me.
You mean my pedigree will help you?
You know something about the diseases of the homeless, and Horatio likes your attitude towards nurses. I did call some of the other medical centers that turned you down, and not one of them said they turned you down because you were a bad doctor.
I know why they turned me down.
I don't care about the drugs. I'm not going to give you a key to the medicine cabinet, and if I find you stoned, I won't merely fire you. I'll call the cops.
Well, obviously, you'll be the world's most understanding boss.
Dr. McCarty, I'm officially offering you the opportunity to be a physician here at St. Mike's. Give me your answer by tomorrow noon.
One day, that's fast.
Yeah, can't be good. Gotta be bad. My mistake was going with the visceral, emotional stuff instead of policy. What you are is a bad influence.
You're not a woman who needs a lot of oxygen, are you?
Miss Knox.
There's my guy. Wish me luck.
You don't need luck. You have history and God and whatever else.
You want the good news or the bad news?
Bad.
They found for us. Which gives me a precedent to argue to the federal Supreme Court, which will make my mama extremely happy and proud.
That's good news. I asked for the bad first.
Since you have such a brilliant attorney, you'll probably get your job back permanently.
Is there any bad news?
I don't think it's so great for you and your judge to be together, but that's just my personal opinion.
Stop worrying about my boss.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Prove it. I want a big, thick steak to celebrate, and you're buying.
You don't want to spend any more time with me than you have to.
Look, big man, it's a victory. Don't make me regret trying to include you in on it. You know what? Forget I asked. You just go home and shine your head.
Whoa! What, you gonna walk off? I'll take you for a damn steak. But I'll drive. Because you're the type who'll leave a man just standing at the side of the road.
Pick me up. The prosecution says Lynette Landers shook Francis Stimson to death. Mr. Reimers said that Lynette found Francis Stimson injured on the floor and tried to save her life. Both could be true. Or maybe the truth lies somewhere in the middle, that Lynette did both. She shook Francis Stimson and then performed CPR. I don't know. Ms. Landers, only you know the truth of what really happened. And my concern for you is this. If you are responsible for Francis Stimson's death, it is a weight that you will carry your entire life. You'll break under the load.
Your Honor.
Is there anything you'd like to say?
Your Honor, you cannot ask my client to incriminate herself.
Mr. Reimers, you have conducted a brilliant defense. Now be so kind as to remain quiet.
I didn't do it.
Okay. Well, what I do know is this. Legally speaking, the prosecution has not met the burden of proof, so I have no choice but to find Lynette Landers not guilty of the crime of manslaughter against Francine Stimson.
Your Honor, I know she did it. I can't prove it, but I know this girl killed my daughter. I know it in my heart. Please, don't let her get away with it. I beg you.
Mrs. Stimson, I cannot use your instincts to make this decision. I don't have that luxury. I am sorry I cannot provide you and your husband the resolution you so desperately need to begin to mend your broken hearts.
My baby is dead. And she did it. And you're not going to do a damn thing about it.
I am truly sorry for your loss. We're adjourned.
You're a redcoat again.
I thought about what you said, and I decided not to capitalize on Jared's name.
It's Tristan.
Thanks.
I want to apologize.
No, Mom. You were right.
I would never want to hold my children back. You know that.
Of course. You know, I'd pull out of this altogether if it weren't for Dad.
Your dad didn't want anything to do with the Connecticut Business League.
No, Mom. They didn't want anything to do with him.
Really? I wasn't aware.
Why do you think I'm so keen? All these corporate mucky-mucks? Dad was a small independent insurance broker, and they shunned him. Well, this country was built on independence. So this one's for the old man. How do I look?
You look fantabulous.
Thank you, little missy. Mother?
It's very, very, very large. And blue. What do you want from me?
Nothing. All I have to do is get the keys and drive her off the lot.
Except?
There's no except. Except I got another job offer. As a resident.
but it's the worst possible situation. It's a crappy facility in a medical backwater, and they only want me for my resume.
I know, it's not funny.
You think I should take the residency?
You don't need my permission.
What, you're telling me to blow off a second chance at a career I gave up hope for 2 years ago?
I didn't say anything like that. Why are you hollering at me?
Because I am this close to having a job where I make decent money, where I can live alone in an apartment like an adult and not room with a Donna. I mean, do you know how much a resident makes?
Could I offer an observation?
You're going to tell me that no matter what I choose, it's going to be stressful, and then I'm going to be tempted back to the dark side, but if I work the program, the world is my oyster.
Wow, I'm good at this. Who said being your sponsor would be a thankless job?
My aunt told me that I would flake on this sales job. I'd really hate for her to be right.
First and foremost, you must be a good nephew. That's the most important thing.
Why can't I like sales. I'm good at it. I enjoyed making a living wage.
I'll give you two a moment alone.
We could have been great together.
Guess what?
What?
Your mother's here.
Mom!
What are you doing out here? We are enjoying the evening air.
We're afraid of the alarm.
Well, you gotta get used to it. How was your day, dear?
Sometimes I think I'm the worst judge in Connecticut.
Well, you have an excellent reputation.
You never told me that.
Yes, and I apologize. Apparently I hold my children back, and I'm going to try to do better.
I forgot the code.
It's 031093, sweetie. It's your birthday. Go, 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 go.
Okay, I got it.
I hate that machine.
Well, I know it's a hassle, but at least once we're inside, we know we're safe.
Coming up next on TNT's Prime Time in the Daytime, detectives suspect a more violent crime when an infant goes missing. Solve the case with Law and Order next on.
Sean, I will be there before you get to anything important. I already know how many paper clips we wasted last week.
I'm the only person in my class who hasn't been to a concert.
I find that hard to believe.
It's true. Taylor's parents took her to NSYNC. They had third row seats.
I'll be there in 10 minutes.
Well, Taylor's parents are Muldoons.
What's a Muldoon?
It's something I don't have time to explain right now. Help me find the car keys.
It's my first day of residency, and Donna decides to outlaw coffee.
Well, I still brew a pot every morning so that I can breathe the fumes.
I'm late. Do you have a travel mug?
Where did I put them?
Have you forgiven me for calling you an overbearing, control-obsessed matriarch?
Yes. Have you forgiven me for calling you flighty and casting aspersions on your manhood?
Yes.
Good, then. Here is your morning coffee.
Cousin Kyle, how old were you when you went to your first concert?
You are so out of this.
I'm out of this.
Why has Donna outlawed coffee?
Third world countries use illegal pesticides that eat your liver. And secondhand steam is going to stunt Ariadne's growth. Even though I explained to Donna that my liver is used to the abuse and that the stunted growth thing has no scientific basis, the next thing I know, she's given our coffee maker to the woman across the hall who apparently she's trying to kill. Or shrink.
Are we gonna be late again?
You know, you could help me find the car keys instead of whining about what I haven't done for you lately.
Where's the cream?
In the refrigerator.
Ah, yes, right next to the car keys.
We're out of here.
Amanda Buddha got a cell phone for her birthday.
Here, get in the car, now.
Jillian.
Bye, Aunt Jillian. Oh, Jillian, honey, would you or Kyle lock up and take us to DEFCON 3? I was hoping to talk to Maxine, but maybe I could
I would love to talk to you about whatever it is, but I'm going to be late for my first day of residency. I can't be late. The alarm code's Lauren's birthday.
I just want to talk to someone.
Good morning.
Put that out, please.
I'm sorry, are you allergic?
I don't want you out here in your lab coat smoking.
Thank you for your concern for my health.
It looks bad for doctors to display their hypocrisy so prominently. Don't you agree? So if you must smoke, do it at home with the shades down.
Are you serious? Well, do you have any rules about coffee, red meats, hydrogenated fats, or sexual partners? Because I want to be the best gosh darn doctor I can be.
This whole I'm just so gosh darn charming thing might work other places, but it just irritates me. Are you coming?
I thought I'd have a cigarette. Consider my options. Yes, I'm coming, but I won't run. That'd be dangerous. I'm gonna walk.
Grab those files.
Why am I grabbing these?
For now and for future reference, whenever I tell you to do something, the answer to why will always be that I'm your attending physician and I told you to do it.
Works for me.
Those are insurance company files. Pre-op clearance letters, so on and so forth. Pull the patient's charts, answer the questions. You can't find an answer, just make something up. Only make sure what you make up, they'll okay payment for. You need to be done by 10.
That's 45 minutes.
Good, you can tell time. That'll come in handy.
Don't you have secretaries to do stuff like this?
No, we have residents to do stuff like this.
State versus David Nelson. Mr. Nelson has been charged with sexual assault in the first degree and has been transferred back to juvenile. Mr. Friedman?
The state will prove that Mr. Nelson, a high school wrestler, violently assaulted Mrs. Levitt in the women's locker room at the high school gymnasium and raped her.
According to the file in front of me, this alleged rape occurred a year ago. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor. 3 months ago, Mrs. Levitt had a baby. The baby required a blood transfusion. When the baby's blood was typed, it was determined that Mrs. Levitt's husband couldn't possibly be the child's father. At that point, Mrs. Levitt belatedly and desperately claimed she was raped.
That is both offensive and unfair, Your Honor. The two events, Mrs. Levitt deciding to pursue rape charges and the paternity finding, have nothing to do with each other. As Your Honor is well aware, there is a 5-year statute of limitations on rape.
You're right, Mr. Friedman. I am well aware. Well, according to the file's subsequent DNA tests determined that Mr. Nelson is definitively the biological father. Does the defendant contest these facts?
No, he's mine.
No, Your Honor, we don't contest any of the finding of fact.
You are the baby's father?
Yes.
Okay. And the defense contends?
The defense contends, Your Honor, that there is a sexual predator in this room, but she's sitting over there.
What did she say? That is a lie.
All right, okay. All right. Well, let's start first thing in the morning. I'll hear testimony
tomorrow at 9.
Tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Dr. Spencer, please dial the operator.
Kyle?
Please dial the operator.
Maxine, I heard rumors you were in the building.
What are you doing? Are you operating on that light fixture?
This is much more difficult than it looks. Some interns train for years before they get to do one of these.
Don't let me disturb you.
You didn't come all the way down here just to convince me to go back to my other job where I don't have to change light bulbs.
No such luck. I'm on an abandoned child call. Is pediatrics still this way?
Yeah, just Follow the row of burned out light bulbs. Maxine, you're staring.
It's the scrubs. They suit you.
I used to swim after school. The day it happened, it was a Wednesday. There was no one else around. Well, not when I started. But when I got out of the pool, I saw David. He was standing next to the locker room doors. I don't know how long he'd been watching me, but it wasn't the first time I'd seen him there before.
And you knew David from your physics class?
That's right. He said that he was upset with his grade on the midterm. I told him this wasn't the time to talk about it. I told him that if he wanted to come see me in the morning before class, we could set up some tutoring sessions.
What was his response?
He called me a bitch. I turned around and I tried to get to the exit. That's when he grabbed me, threw me into the locker room, and pushed me down onto the floor. Everything just happened so fast.
Did you struggle? Try and fight back?
Yeah, I tried. But there was no way. I mean, he was on top of me, and he was very strong. I tried to hit him in the face, and I kicked him, but I don't even think he felt it.
And what happened next?
What happened next was he raped me.
Did you seduce David Nelson?
No.
Have you ever had a sexual relationship with a student?
No.
No more questions?
And her mother just handed her over and left?
No, apparently she stayed for a while. When the receptionist gave her the paperwork, the woman said that she left a purse in the car, and that was the last anyone saw of her.
Where's your mommy, young lady? How's she doing?
We're gonna release her in a couple of days. We caught it early.
What exactly did you catch?
It's the strangest thing. She was in the early stages of something called Chagas disease.
I've never heard of it.
To tell you the truth, I hadn't either until today. It's prevalent in Central America, sometimes the South, but never New England.
Is she going to be all right?
Yeah, we've got it under control. She's on some pretty heavy-duty antibiotics, but I think she's going to be just fine.
What about the mother? What do we know about her? Name and address?
No, but we have a description of her. The security camera out front got a pretty good shot of her.
I'll need a copy of that video, and I'd like to be paged if anybody calls about this little girl.
Anything else?
Yes, I have a camera in my car, and with your permission, I'd like to take her picture.
Of course.
Did anyone see you leave the swimming pool area on the day of this alleged rape?
The school clears out pretty quickly in the afternoon. There was no one else around.
Okay. This rape, which no one witnessed, happened a little more than a year ago, is that right?
Yes.
Why didn't you report it on the next day? Or the next month?
Your Honor, I'm sure you're aware that something like 75% of the rapes in this country go unreported.
That may well be. But I'm not asking about any of those rapes. I'm asking about this one.
Why didn't you report it back then? I guess I was in shock. And when I thought about reporting it, all I could imagine were these kids that I have to face every day. I mean, that's my job. I stand up in front of these kids, and I just didn't think I could do that if they knew what had happened to me. I love my job, and I wanted to keep it.
And yet here we are. What happened?
I changed my mind. I decided I couldn't stay quiet.
Let me see if I can pinpoint for you exactly when you changed your mind. Was that when your husband learned he was not the biological father of your son?
Your Honor.
This is not daytime TV, Ms. Orr. Please keep the theatrics to a minimum.
Mrs. Levitt, when your husband learned he was not the biological father of the child, what was his reaction?
He was upset.
Upset because you hadn't told him about your relationship with David Nelson?
No. Upset because I was raped. Upset because I hadn't confided in him. Upset because he cares about me.
What do you suppose his reaction would have been if you told him you were sleeping with one of your students?
Your Honor, now she's asking the witness to speculate.
You've been to law school, haven't you, Ms. Orr? If you have a case to make it. Otherwise...
No more questions.
The baby was left at the emergency room. There's no sign of abuse, but she's being treated for a disease that's usually found in Central America.
She is a cutie.
Excuse me?
Look at her. Look at her little nose.
The baby has a nose, Robert. That's an excellent observation.
Oh, those cheeks. Man, you just want to pinch them.
Could we attempt to maintain an atmosphere of professionalism, at least until noon?
Sorry.
We need to find her mother.
How about INS? If she's being treated for a Central American disease, there's a chance she's illegal.
Robert, you have a connection at INS, do you not?
I'll go make the call.
And I thought perhaps we could try and get that picture on the evening news, since the baby has a certain aesthetic appeal.
You mean because she's a big cutie pie? Yeah, I think it's a great idea. Media loves this kind of thing. It's early. Might have a shot at the 6 o'clock newscast. You know, Maxine, you might fool Robert, but I know you're a big softie.
Let's find her mother, shall we?
I went to Mrs. Levitt for help after the midterm. That part's true. But it was in the classroom after the bell, and there were other kids around.
What did she say when you asked for help?
That time we talked about the test, how I could do better on the next one.
That time?
And she decided that I should start coming for tutoring every week.
And did you like spending that time with Mrs. Levitt?
Yeah. I mean, we talked about everything. She was interested in my life, in me.
Was she? Or is that just what you told yourself?
She started showing up at all my wrestling matches, even the away ones.
What happened after the Groton match?
It was a night match, and my parents couldn't make it, but Mrs. Levitt was there, and she offered me a ride home.
Can we get to a point, please?
Well, on the way home, she decided that she wasn't ready to drop me off just yet. So she drove me down to Dudley Pond, and we parked on the side of this dirt road. The radio was on. We were listening to the music and talking, and Mrs. Levitt, she leaned over and kissed me. I couldn't believe it, but I kissed her back. We kept kissing for a while, and that's when it all happened.
What all happened?
She asked me if I'd ever had sex before. I told her the truth, even though I was embarrassed. I said no. She asked me if I wanted to. And that's when we did it. We slept together. In her car, we had sex.
And did your relationship continue?
For a month, or maybe 6 weeks.
Always in her car?
Sometimes in motels, once in her office, but a bunch of times in her car.
No more questions?
Mr. Nelson. Do you recognize this?
Yeah.
Your principal found this in your locker? Is that true?
This is ridiculous, Your Honor. What possible relevance could this have?
Just want to read one brief excerpt, Your Honor, and then it will go right back in the brown paper bag.
Fine, just keep it PG-13.
My anatomy lesson. Dear Playpen, I think I'm the luckiest sophomore at Kennedy High School. Last Tuesday, after working out in the gym, I missed my bus home. I was looking for a payphone to call my mom when my biology teacher, I'll call her Miss X, 26 years old, long red hair, super hot, offered me a ride. She drove me down to a deserted lake. No sooner had we parked than...
Okay, Mr. Friedman, I think we're up to speed.
I never even read that.
Mr. Nelson, do you consider yourself violent?
No.
Isn't it true that you were suspended from the wrestling team last season?
It was only for a week.
And wasn't that because you broke the collarbone of one opponent and fractured the jaw of another?
It's a contact sport. That stuff happens.
It seems to happen to you quite often.
I didn't hurt Mrs. Levitt. I didn't do what she says I did.
How would you characterize your relationship with Mrs. Levitt?
We had plans. After I graduated, we were going to be together.
Was Mrs. Levitt in on those plans, or was this just going on in your head?
She was going to leave her husband. It was going to just be us. She loved me.
How do you know that? Did she tell you that she loved you?
I just knew. We had a connection. Even after she broke up with me, I could still tell that she cared about me. I mean, I saw the way she looked at me.
How did she look at you?
Like she could look right through me.
Did you ever ask Mrs. Levitt if she shared these feelings?
By that time, it was too late. I mean, after she broke up with me, she wouldn't even talk to me. She wouldn't answer my calls. I sent her letters. I sent her flowers. I left messages on her desk.
Why didn't you leave her alone?
Your Honor, may I suggest a recess?
We were in love. We were gonna be together.
How about it, Your Honor? 10-minute recess?
Yeah, fine. 10-minute recess.
All rise. You all right?
I was well within my rights to ask like those questions. Wasn't I?
It seemed like a good time for a recess, that's all.
I know what you're thinking. You're thinking I'm looking at that kid and I'm seeing my stalker.
I didn't say that.
I think I've reached my limit on disturbed young men, inside the court and out. What?
Nothing. It's not too late to recuse yourself. If you need a docket change.
Tell me you didn't just advise a judge to recuse herself.
I'm clarifying your options for you, Judge Gray. I'm well within my rights to do that.
You believe him, don't you? You think she seduced him.
It's not my job to say. Can I ask where you're going?
I need some air.
Well, your blood pressure's normal. Everything looks and sounds fine. You say nothing hurts.
I know. I wish I could reel off some symptoms, but I can't explain it. I just don't feel right.
And Jillian, remember when you were sure you had lupus?
This is different.
And is this more like when you were allergic to your deodorant and thought you had armpit cancer?
Dr. Riley, I'm aware that I've had an imagined illness or two.
And then there was the indentation in your lower leg that turned out to be new muscle tone from the exercise bike.
All I know is that I am tired when I wake up and I'm tired when I go to bed.
How old's your son now?
Almost 2. But he's sleeping through the night and it's not that kind of tired.
How do you know? You've never had a toddler before?
I just know.
Okay. How's your marriage?
Eric, don't let me miss Sean's street.
You still got about a mile.
Okay, so let's say Eric was babysitting and I had a big project that was due the next day. And suddenly, all the electricity went out. And I needed to call you at work.
Well, electricity doesn't have anything to do with the phone.
It's a massive technological breakdown caused by terrorists or aliens?
Okay, well, in that case, I think it would be fine if Lauren's homework wasn't done on time.
You're not helping.
I think you were doing better with Amanda Buddha got a cell phone for her birthday.
Oh,
What is it?
no. Something not good.
Can you change a tire, Eric?
How hard could it be? Where's your tire changing stuff?
Would that have come with the car, or did I have to buy that extra?
I don't know.
Wait. That's what cell phones are for.
What if we were stranded like this and you pulled out your cell phone and the battery was dead? Wouldn't it be good to have a backup cell phone?
Lauren, I'm thinking this is not the time.
How did you do that?
Huh. You must have one of those roadside service contracts.
But how did they know?
Well, looks like you're in a bit of trouble.
Nothing we can't handle.
That tire's quite a mess.
Yeah, that's why I called AAA.
I just happened to be driving by. In my tow truck.
We'd rather wait for the one we already called.
Oh, Lauren probably has homework waiting. Right, Lauren?
Do I know you?
I'm a friend of your mother's.
I'm surprised to see you. I didn't think I'd see you again.
Well, life was unpredictable, right?
Just when you think one thing's gonna happen, the exact opposite does.
I'll check back in a few minutes and make sure you're okay.
Well, we won't be here.
Then I'll see you around.
Who is he?
He's somebody I know from work.
What's he doing all the way out here?
I don't know, Lauren. He's working around here, I guess.
I bet he could have fixed our car.
Not necessarily.
Why didn't you let him help us?
Well, this is what I pay the auto club for.
But he was already
Hey, Lauren, I'm the grown-up. Wait in the car, okay?
I know you have to go to work. I just thought we really haven't had time to chat lately, and you might have a few minutes to catch up on things. Like how your grandson is doing in preschool. And...
How is Ned doing in preschool?
Fine.
Oh, good.
I guess you want details.
If you have any.
Well, he gets along well with other kids, and he likes finger painting. The only problem is that we can't seem to get him to stop eating crayons.
Well, I'm sure that's just a phase.
We've tried explaining it and bribing him and...
Jillian, all of my children ate crayons and they survived.
Maxine, there's something wrong with me.
What do you mean?
I went to the doctor and he didn't believe me. He thinks I'm a hypochondriac. And maybe I am. I mean, there probably isn't a disease that hasn't been through my search engine. I know that, but this is different.
What is different, Jillian?
I can't explain it. I'm tired all the time and I can't think, and I feel like I have a head cold, but I don't. I feel stupid, like I'm superimposed on the world, like I can't connect. I don't know. I just know that there is something wrong with me, and I'm so afraid that I'm gonna be dead before anybody believes me. And it's my own fault because I thought I had armpit cancer.
I am sure you're not going to die. They can fix almost anything now. Did you tell Peter about this?
I don't want to tell him until I know what I have. But I don't know how to find out what I have.
Well, don't worry about that. Now, I know where we can find a doctor who will believe you.
Excuse me, please. I work here.
I want to see our baby. I'm sorry if you just leave your name, address, and phone number.
Our lawyer is on his way down here.
What kind of place are you running? Someone will be in touch.
Sean.
Just keep walking. I'll fill you in. Apparently, we were a big hit on the evening news. We got so many calls about this baby, our voicemail system crashed.
What about her mother?
Nothing.
And, the circus in the hallway?
Well, that's where it gets interesting.
The helpful kind of interesting?
More like the icky kind of interesting. All these couples claim the baby's theirs, and they have the receipts to prove it.
They purchased the baby?
That's what they're saying.
That is our name and number. Is there someone our attorney could speak to directly?
No, we're just a little understaffed.
Granted, I'm having a better day than you are. And granted, I'm the one who wanted to be a doctor, and it's not like I heard residency is a cakewalk and all of a sudden I'm surprised. But so far today, I have changed 3 light bulbs, mopped 2 hallways, and filled out 50 insurance forms. Of course, I can't say that I haven't been able to do any doctoring because I did get to dig the maggots out of the groin region of the homeless man with gangrene. But as much as I enjoyed that, I still find myself asking the complex existential question. For this, I gave up 60 grand in a Sonic Blue SUV. Hold the elevator!
So is that like a dead body?
Yes, it's very much like a dead body.
And what are you, the official dead guy pusher?
It's actually a highly technical skill.
Is he supposed to be in here?
No. He's supposed to be at his high school reunion. He had a heart attack just to inconvenience you. Toodles.
Who was that guy?
It's a long story, but don't worry, I can handle it.
No, that tattoo on his wrist, I've seen those at Long Lane. The number tells how many years you've done.
How many years has he done?
5. That's a lot for Julie.
I know. Look, I'm sorry. I don't want to make this a bigger deal than it is.
How big is it? Look, I'm responsible for Lauren a lot of the time. If there's something going on, I think I should know.
Well, he's bad news. I don't know how bad. But if you ever see him anywhere near Lauren or her school, let me know immediately, okay?
Okay. I gotta go meet Lauren.
The picture does resemble her.
You see? Now that's definitely the same baby.
That's our baby. Where is she?
All right, first of all, she is not your baby.
But we bought her before they bought her.
And second of all, she is not a dinette set that you order off the home shopping channel. They have to go.
Maxine?
Did it occur to you for a second that attempting to purchase a child for cash might be illegal?
No.
Not to mention morally repugnant and wrong?
We wanted a baby for so long. I couldn't get pregnant. We tried to find a lawyer to help us adopt. And then Paul saw this adoption service on the internet, and we figured...
You figured if it's on the internet, well, it must be legal. What can you tell us about the person you contacted?
Her name's...
No, we don't have to tell you anything.
Wrong again. The only choice you have here is to tell us what we need to know now, before I call the state prosecutor's office, or after I hang up.
Her name's Lydia Copeland.
And what do we know about her?
That's all we know. Except the address where we sent the money.
Well, that might be helpful. What do you think?
We didn't even know of the existence of this witness until this afternoon, Your Honor. We didn't have a name. As soon as we got a name, we provided it to the prosecution, but we didn't have one until today.
We should know about it.
Oh, okay. Stop talking, both of you.
Here's what I got from that incredibly civil and constructive exchange. You want to call a new witness? Someone not on the list?
Your Honor,
Stop talking. Nod your head for yes, shake your head for no. You have a new witness, and you don't think we should hear from that witness today? Okay. Ms. Orr, you first. Why the surprise witness? You may speak.
Your Honor, Mrs. Levitt has already testified that she never had an affair with a student. This witness is our smoking gun.
Mr. Friedman.
It's trial by ambush, Your Honor. We believe the defense knew about this witness and purposefully kept the name off the witness list to prevent us from discrediting him.
So you don't object to the witness as much as to the procedure? Let's hear the witness.
Jillian, I'm sorry to be late. Where's Kyle?
He said to wait. He'll be back.
Oh, is that all he said?
No, he told me all about the bad day that he was having while he drew about 3 quarts of blood.
Why is he having a bad day?
I wasn't listening.
All right, we're not going to react to anything but facts. So far, we know that Kyle is checking something in your blood, and he's having a bad day. And frankly, he's young and healthy, so we don't give a damn what kind of day he's having.
Hey, Maxine. Okay. It'll be a few days before we get the full report, but in the meanwhile, I wanted to rule out a couple of things.
What did you rule out?
Actually, I ended up ruling them in.
Are they bad?
Do you mind if Maxine hears this?
No, I want Maxine to hear it. What is it?
Well, first of all, you have anemia. That's why you've been so tired. I brought you this fascinating fact sheet on anemia, including some dietary suggestions. And you need to start taking these right away.
What are these?
Prenatal vitamins.
What?
You're probably anemic because you're pregnant.
But I don't get pregnant.
Apparently you do.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, honey.
Oh, honey.
Oh,
honey. Thank you.
We've got an unresponsive patient in VFib. Let's go.
Me?
You're a doctor, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Then let's go.
What are the chances she just stepped out for lunch?
We both knew she'd be gone.
I didn't.
I'm pretty sure she left as soon as she dropped the baby at the hospital.
We'll issue a warrant on your baby broke, and maybe we'll get lucky.
You should add kidnapping to the charge. The warrant might get a little more attention.
Kidnapping?
How do you think she acquired the child in the first place? She either stole that little girl or paid her mother a couple of $100, which in my book amounts to the same thing.
We'll call you if we hear anything.
The hospital called today. They're ready to release the baby. Do you want me to pick her up? Maxine?
No, what I want is for you to stop the callous people of the world from preying on the poor and the ignorant. Can you do that?
I'll bring it up in the next staff meeting.
Clayton Leonard, 20 years old.
Where do you go to school, Mr. Leonard?
University of Connecticut.
Where did you go to high school?
Fillmore High.
Do you know Rosalie Levitt?
Yeah, she was my physics teacher junior year.
And was that the extent of the relationship?
No. We had an affair when I was a senior. I don't know if affair is the right word, though. Mostly we just had sex.
And how long did that go on?
Almost 3 months, and then she dumped me for someone else. I think he was a sophomore.
Liar.
Mr. Nelson.
But he's lying.
David.
She said not to tell anyone that we'd both get in trouble. I'm sorry.
Sir, you're going to have to sit down.
What did you do? Tell me. Tell me!
Your Honor, the defense is inclined to rest. I think we can all see where this story is going. I don't need to hear anymore.
Mr. Friedman, are you prepared to cross-examine?
No. I'd like to request a recess, Your Honor. I'm going to want some time to prepare.
Ms. Orr?
By all means. I encourage the state to take as much time as it needs.
Thank you. Mr. Leonard, you may sit down.
Sorry. The door was open. I just wanted to give you this.
What is it?
I did a little detective work. I thought you should find out what Jason Lobdell's been up to since you sent him away.
How bad is it?
I think you should see for yourself.
Was this a dog before Jason got to it?
Yeah. I think you should get a restraining order.
I think you're right. That's the last form. We expected you earlier.
I'm sorry, I know I couldn't get away till now.
Mother never showed up.
No, and she's not going to.
So what happens next? You'll find her a home, right? I saw the news. It looks like there are a lot of people who want her.
None of those people have a legal claim to that baby. I'm taking her to a foster home. We'll go from there.
That doesn't seem right.
No, it doesn't. All right. Yes. Everything's going to be all right. Take a good look around. Yeah.
So, this guy, he's swinging his nephew around. You know the way guys do. And he doesn't realize he's really close to this tree.
Here you go, honey.
What's that?
Just open it.
Okay, in a minute. So anyway, the guy accidentally swings the kid into the tree and breaks the kid's ankle. So he and his son, the kid's cousin, they put the kid in the car and they take him to the family doctor.
Aren't you gonna open it?
I will in a minute. So the doctor asks the guy what happened. So he picks up his son and he says to the doctor, "Doc, it was nothing. I was just swinging him around like this."
Why don't you open it now?
Don't interrupt, Lauren.
But I want to know what the present is.
I said I will in a minute.
Oh, for heaven's sake, Peter, everyone knows that story. Open your present.
What am I getting a present for?
Just open it.
What is it?
Are you sure?
Oh my God.
What?
Like a morning dove, walking down the road with the one you love. Maybe launch from a slingshot.
What?
Oh my God.
Then just let go.
Congratulations. You say congratulations.
What is it? What's going on?
Coming up next on TNT's Prime Time in the Daytime, the drama erupts when a child is charged with obstruction of justice.
Please set a date, Maxine. I cannot plan a wedding without a date, and I'm not supposed to have any stress during my pregnancy. But if you and Jared don't set a date soon, then I might not have time to plan everything, or worse. BHT, that's an avoid. Sodium nitrate, I can't have sodium nitrate. I am pregnant. What? I'm acting a little crazy, aren't I?
It's the hormones.
We've all been through it.
Are you and Jared going to have any children, Grandma?
No, sweetheart. 3 was my lucky number.
Here you go, honey.
Hey, Mom, did you even look at this before you threw it away?
I did not. Where am I going to get money to invest in property on Guam?
You are about to become one of the 400 wealthiest Americans. A billionaire.
Your picture's already been in Albus Eller's society column.
Oh, for pity's sake, I am not about to become a billionaire. I'm simply going to be Mrs. Jared Gray. Duff.
Guam is the new Hawaii. Years ago, you could buy beachfront property in Maui for a song.
Peter is very good at this kind of thing, Mom.
I know he is.
You have no faith in me.
She hasn't even set a date. Without a date, how do we know she's even getting married? It could all be a big scam to make us think that you're going to have a wedding when you really have no intention of having a wedding.
All right. Everybody stop it. This marriage has nothing to do with money. We will set a wedding date when we set it. Jared is overwhelmed with this China conclave, and I am buried in my own work. After this, I don't want to hear one thing about dates or dollars or today's Guam or tomorrow's Maui or any place else. Goodbye.
With everything. Do we own property on Guam?
Why did you take apart the toilet?
Oh, it was making a clicking sound. I mean, Kyle really needs to sleep now that he's a resident. Oh, they were terrible hours. I thought the clicking would drive him crazy.
That was very thoughtful of you.
Well, that's what I thought. But when the flooding started and I took Ariadne upstairs, he was still saying very mean things to me.
Is there somebody in there?
You think it's Stalker Boy? Who's here?
Donna, Judge Gray, I'd like you to meet Detective Cross, Hartford PD.
Is there a problem?
Detective Cross is with the CAP squad. Crimes against persons.
Fraud, robbery, assault.
Stalking.
Yes, which is what brings me here today, Judge Gray.
Hey, your name's Chris Cross, like those 2 little rappers who used to wear their pants backwards. Remember that?
Only too well.
So, you gonna break bad on this guy? Put him under glass? Squeeze his shoes a little bit? Send him to the otter farm?
Hey, Donna. Look, I don't know what Mr. Van Exel has told you, but...
Stalker named Jason Lobdell, known to the police. Broke into your apartment, left threatening phone calls, vandalized your vehicle, accosted you and your daughter.
Yeah, except that legally speaking, I have no proof that he broke into my home, no proof that he vandalized my car, and he never actually threatened me or my daughter.
You're right. Without him making some kind of tangible move on you, be it physical or verbal, we can't really do anything. At least, not officially.
And you're not talking about some kind of special treatment.
You're a judge. It's inevitable. You're part of the team.
Part of what team?
The good guys. Cops, judges, attorneys, well, prosecutors anyway. Look, we can't pick him up, but we can keep an eye out, especially at night. If Mr. Lobdell shows, I will be on him like Weird on Bjork. I gotta run. Judge Gray, no worries. Bruce, later.
Okay, I'll just go out here and...
All I said was, I know a judge who needs...
Thank you.
Things are good. Yeah, Alicia and Alex are happy, and I'm happy. Yeah, considering.
Considering we issued a restraining order on your husband. He was beating you in front of your children.
Still, the family's all apart. That's sad for the kids.
Has he made any attempt to violate the restraining order?
No, I haven't seen him in 2 months. Alicia, be careful of the curbs.
He was beating you, Penny. You and your children are better off without him. Our only other choice would be to remove Alicia and Alex to a foster family. I'm sure you'll agree this is a better solution.
Alex is awake. I have to go.
That's a lovely bike, Alicia.
Thank you.
Is it new?
No.
Alicia, time to come in.
Jesse Monk. Is this right? The charge is obstructing justice?
That's the charge, Judge Gray.
Mr. Ashworth, to what do we owe a visit from the chief juvenile prosecutor?
I just dropped by to watch the new kid in action. Make sure he doesn't embarrass my department.
Well, Mr. Hayes has certainly arrived with a fanfare, leveling obstruction of justice charges against a 12-year-old boy.
Your Honor, if I may. Jesse Monk is the subject of nearly 200 photos, 160 of which, under Connecticut law, fall into the category of child pornography. There is a sampling of hard copies as well as a CD-ROM, all photos downloaded from the internet.
Why is Mr. Monk sitting on that side of the room? Because what I see here is an obvious victim, Mr. Hayes.
As any reasonable person would, Your Honor.
For 6 months, the state police have been tracking down pedophiles who use the internet to buy, sell, and trade their product, which you see before you, Judge Gray. Jesse Monk, who was a foster child in the care of the state, is one of the children involved.
When the police informed DCF, Jesse was removed from his foster home pending an investigation.
Foster parents are no longer considered suspects.
I'm still not hearing anything about obstruction of justice.
Exactly. All my client did was to deny he was part of any wrongdoing.
Ergo, obstructing justice.
It's not me. They're fakes. There's fakes all over the internet. Like nude celebrities. It's all fake. It's not me.
Your Honor, state police experts have examined these pictures, and they all agree they're real. By refusing to tell us who took those pictures, Jesse Monk is obstructing justice.
I'd like to see counsel in my chambers.
The boy has obviously been coached to deny him.
The state is putting the victim on trial here, Your Honor.
DCF removed Jesse Monk without consulting the police.
They were acting in the best interest of the child.
Well, their heart was in the right place, but that removal tipped the pedophile. He knows the boy's in custody now, so he's just gonna lay low until this blows over.
then he'll offend again. We have to seize this opportunity to force the name out of Jesse Monk.
You want me, as a judge, to bully a frightened 12-year-old boy into giving up the name of a person who is sexually abusing him?
We don't think you'll have to find him guilty. He'll talk before it gets to that.
Okay, Mr. Hayes, you're new at this job, so I'm going to try to be very clear. You cannot use a judge to do the police department's job.
Your Honor,
the impartiality of the law is one of the few principles to keep the barbarians at the gate. You understand what that means?
I'm requesting a continuance to prepare a motion to dismiss, Your Honor.
Good.
What?
The motion hearing will be?
Tuesday at 10 o'clock.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Beautiful.
I have a recurring dream where I'm a billionaire. I buy the Carolina Hurricanes, move them back to Hartford, change their name back to the Whalers, and we win the Stanley Cup.
I have a recurring dream where everyone stops talking about my becoming a billionaire.
I have a recurring dream where I'm pleading with a midget named Brett to stop throwing donuts at a clown with a flamethrower.
Penny Hadcote's husband is violating the restraining order.
The wife beater.
How do you know?
I talked with her neighbor. She says Dave Hadcote is there once or twice a week.
Why would she put up with that? She's got to know we snatched the kids.
Which is exactly what we're going to do.
Hold your horses for a moment. What if she's being threatened? What if he's coercing her?
And she should have told you. You have to snatch the kids.
My advice, show up in a limo to snatch them. It'd be easier for everyone all around. After you're married, you can take a limo to all your field calls.
She can take one right now. She wants.
One day I'm going to start to get used to these surprise visits.
Don't. Can we have lunch?
I will likely be having lunch in front of the vending machine. 12:30?
Great. Gentlemen?
You're not going to snatch those kids, are you?
If I have to. After I find out what's going on.
I'm looking for Eddie or Javier.
The children?
Yes, have you seen them?
Not since they were debating over who was hotter, Britney Spears or Jennifer Lopez. I mean, can't you just tap me on the shoulder?
I need an assist on the Jefferson appendectomy. If you see Javier, will you tell him?
Hello? Why do you never offer me any assists?
Why don't you ever ask me?
Is that the way it works around here?
That's the way it works in the world. You have to ask for things. Not much is simply offered to you on a silver platter.
Fine, understood. May I officially request that you use me to assist?
You'll be up next. You're not on shift. Why aren't you at home sleeping?
My roommate decided that the noise the toilet was making might interfere.
I haven't got time to hear the story.
I'm not usually a conspiracy theorist, but that may have to change.
Mr. Van Exel, Judge Gray, what a stroke of good fortune to see you here.
I have a feeling it's going to be a different kind of stroke.
Mr. Hayes filled me in on the dynamic of your chambers meeting and the pending motion hearing.
This wouldn't be an ex parte communication, would it?
Good. Doing your job. Very laudable. But no, this is strictly administrative in nature. I know this case was a curveball when you were looking fastball, and I appreciate your earnest adherence to the rule of law. But perhaps the best thing for all involved would simply be to transfer it to another judge.
You wouldn't be trying to trap me into an ex parte communication, so I'd have to recuse myself from this case, would you?
We're professionals. All three of us. We're in bounds here.
Barely.
Speech to Mr. Hayes holds.
Yes. Barbarian's at the gate. Very evocative. The thing I want to remind you, though, is that the barbarian is already through the gate, and he's preying on children.
We're very close to discussing the case here.
Yeah, Mr. Ashworth, I think it'd be a good idea if you went back over there.
You're a juvenile court judge. A very good one, too, by all accounts. But what we're after here is an adult criminal.
You didn't charge an adult. You charged a victimized 12-year-old boy.
Mr. Van Exel. Judge Gray.
I don't think the chef is using as much dill as he used to.
We've had some serious budget cuts. You said we needed to talk. After you told me not to get used to any more visits?
That's just it. Maxine, that is the point. I don't want to be a visitor in your life anymore. I want to be in your life. Every day I want to be in your life. I can't concentrate. I can't get anything done. All I think about is marrying you.
You know, that's all Jillian thinks about, too.
What?
And it's never off my mind.
Well, all right then. Let's get this horse out of the gate.
What?
Yes.
Oh, you mean,
yeah.
What about China?
I don't want to talk about China. Maxine, look, now, we can do it here, or we could fly off to Monte Carlo, Venice, or Rochester. You're not stalling.
Of course not. I want to get married. On one condition. I want a prenuptial agreement.
You want a you're serious?
All I keep hearing is about I'm going to become a billionaire's wife and I should be buying tomorrow's Maui and...
Yeah, and what?
Well, never mind. I want everyone, including you, to know that I would be marrying you even if you were penniless.
When did you ever give a hog's tail about what anybody else thought? Maxine, if, God forbid, anything should happen between us, I want you taken care of.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
No, I want you...
We come into this marriage as separate beings. And if anything does happen, we leave with what we came in with.
Oh.
This is non-negotiable.
My son,
Charles.
Charles, my son Charles, he handles all my business affairs now. So, do you have an attorney?
No. But I know just the person.
Good. And I'll set up the meeting. Now, once we've dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's, do you want to have a great, big, fancy church wedding? Or would you like to just run off to some nice justice of the peace with a couple of kids?
Oh, now you're serious. We should ask Jillian.
I'm not going to ask Jillian. Maxine, I'm asking you.
But if things are good, I don't understand.
You both knew that if your husband violated the restraining order, we would be forced to remove your children. And frankly, that is what my supervisor has sent me here to do.
No, Maxine, please. Dave is different. This whole thing has changed him.
I doubt it. He stopped attending the anger management sessions mandated by the court.
It was the drinking that made him mean. He stopped drinking completely, and I give you the credit. It was that restraining order that scared him sober. I know what you're thinking. It's that whole frog, scorpion can't change a leopard's spots, right?
Something like that.
Well, Dave has changed. If you could see us together...
If I saw you together, I would be obliged by law to report you and to seize your children.
I love him, Maxine. I love him, and the children love him, and he loves us.
This is a court order. It's out of my hands.
Oh, but listen, they listen to you. I know that they listen to you. If you could just please give us this chance. People can change. Dave has changed. Look, if you could just see us together, please. Sometimes people deserve a second chance, Maxine. Please.
If you don't mind me asking, what are your qualifications for negotiating a prenuptial agreement of this size?
I'm the son of one party, you're the son of the other, so we're even.
I have an MBA from Wharton, a law degree from Yale, a doctorate in economics from Brown. I was a member of the team which negotiated the free trade agreement with Canada.
Oh, so what you're saying is you haven't done any actual real-world work. Don't worry. I'll go easy on you.
Here's a 1760 form with the standard after marriage incurred debt attachment. You do know about the 1760, correct? Or would you like to call in an expert?
Well, I'm a little confused.
Shall I explain in simpler terms?
Is this a 1760 or a 1760p? Because the 1760 takes into account any and all property jointly cohabited during the engagement phase as well as the marriage.
Can I ask you a question? Are you stoned?
Me? What? No, never. Dr. Redeker won't even give me the keys to the medicine cabinet.
Because the supplies you're supposed to be stocking alphabetically. As far as I can tell, you're doing it by weight.
I'm not stoned. I'm sleep deprived. I'm just not used to the schedule. What are you, a cyborg?
I'm younger than you are.
Ouch.
And open your hand.
Oh, God, this is like an after-school special.
Don't look so scared. They're harmless, herbal, perfectly legal.
You know my history, right?
Yeah, I heard. You're rogue and a scallywag, but reformed.
I can't take these.
There's no controlled substance in them. Nothing addictive. Equivalent to a couple cups of coffee.
I'll drink the coffee.
The coffee around here will eat the lining off your stomach. Believe me, I'm a doctor. It's much better for you.
No, thanks.
Hey, I'm just trying to help. Oh, and don't forget, alphabetical.
Jillian? Peter's still at the office on our date night. Ned is with the sitter. I thought maybe you guys would have something that I could eat. How much weight did you gain during your pregnancy?
Well, the first trimester.
According to two of my pregnancy websites, I need to gain 3.2 pounds a month in order to reach my ideal birthing weight. But the only thing that is safe to eat are apples and grilled chicken breasts, free range. Grilled chicken breasts, it tastes like stinky feet. And I can't eat any more apples.
Mom, where's my sock monkey game?
Jillian, you can eat other things.
No, I can't. Everything is poison.
Sock monkey, sock monkey, sock monkey, sock monkey, sock monkey, sock monkey, monkey.
It's in the dining room.
Here, Jillian, get off the floor.
Oh, they say gain weight, but they say I can't eat anything. They say I have to exercise, but they say not to wear my body out. They say I'm supposed to relax, but I am 2 steps away from taking hostages. What the hell is a sock monkey? Oh my God. Lauren! Get away from there.
I'm sorry.
No,
sorry.
It's okay. I didn't mean to yell. You have ice cream sandwiches. I can have ice cream sandwiches.
Jillian, please.
Oh, sure. Can I keep the ice cream sandwiches?
I'm sorry. I should have been paying more attention.
Who is that boy?
He's from my courtroom.
How come
A very bad man made him do those things.
Who took the pictures?
Remember how we talked about strangers? About not going with them and not letting them touch you? Well, this little boy, he didn't have anybody to tell him those things. He doesn't have a mother. So he didn't know any better when that bad guy wanted to take his picture.
Does the man live around here?
Oh, no. No, sweetie. Don't worry about him. No, he's going to jail for this.
Are you going to put him in jail?
Yes.
That's good.
Each party hereby waives, releases, and relinquishes any and all right, title of interest whatsoever. Can you not do that?
Why? Does it bother you?
No. Such waiver, release, and relinquishment shall not apply and is not effective with respect to any... Okay, cut it out.
Can't handle the pressure, Gray?
I invented pressure, Duff.
That doesn't make sense.
It makes about as much sense as your statement of assets. According to last April's Spiegler financial letter, you're off by a fraction. 80 million fractions.
Martin, Kyle, I'm glad you're there.
Let's speak up. Who is it?
Kyle, listen, as my sponsor, I...
Just kidding. I'm not here. Leave a message after the tone.
Martin, it's Kyle. I just called to ask you something I already know the answer to.
She finally go down? Yeah. When she was an infant, and I had to rock her to sleep. It's because of what she saw on the computer. The boy. What are you gonna do? I don't know. I gave my Barbarians at the Gate speech yesterday. Sounded really good at the time, but now... Forget about terrorizing a little kid. What about judicial ethics? What about the next case and the case after that? This is where you're supposed to contribute a brilliant nugget of wisdom.
This is where we stand on different sides of the Great Divide.
The Great Divide?
Your job is different than mine. My job is very pragmatic. Save children.
I save children?
Yes, but you must also preserve a legal system. You serve two masters. I do not.
You think I should pick one master?
Well, of course, you're going to have to pick one. My advice is choose the one that puts the sexual predator behind bars. But that's my opinion from my side of the divide, and I could be wrong.
That now that you make any claim for or be entitled to any money, property, or as alimony, spousal support, or maintenance,
such provision shall be deemed valid to the extent of the scope and breadth permitted by law.
No. For an ill-educated insurance salesman, you've played this very well.
For an Ivy League wuss, you make a pretty good street fighter.
Are you coming home again? Ever?
I appreciate you being outside my house last night, Detective.
Oh, no sweat. I'll be out there however long it takes until the situation is resolved.
Hey, oh. Hi, Flatfoot. Oh, Judge Gray, curtain's about to rise.
Thank you, Donna. I'll be right there.
I'll see you tonight.
Detective. Do you know anything about this case that I'm hearing?
The pedophile photographer? Nope. Not a thing. Not that we could discuss it anyway, right?
I need to know something, but I'm not really allowed to ask.
There's just the two of us here.
I'm not like that. I try to do what's required of me legally. No shortcuts.
Of course. I'm just gonna make an idle observation. I heard about a case in Vice where absolutely every avenue was exhausted, and they're nowhere.
We really shouldn't be having this conversation. I'm sorry. This is a thorough and convincing motion to dismiss, Mr. Ruff.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge Gray, I feel the state must be heard before you dismiss.
I'm not going to dismiss. In fact, I'm going to make this very easy. Mr. Monk, if you do not reveal to me the name of the man who took these pictures, then I will hold you in contempt and put you in a jail cell until you do tell me the name.
But it's not me.
I object, Your Honor. You haven't heard arguments.
Overruled.
Exception.
Noted. The name, Mr. Monk, now.
It's not me. It's fake. It's not me in those pictures.
Yes, Mr. Monk. We all know how the photographer told you that if you denied everything, then you'd have no more problems. Well, I'm your problem. So he was wrong. And if you're protecting him because you took money from him, then you are wrong too.
Your Honor!
Please do not interrupt me again, Mr. Ruff. If you have feelings for him, then you are wrong. This man is bad. He's a pervert.
They're fakes. It's not me.
All right, that's not going to cut it. Please approach the defendant, and if he defies me again, put the handcuffs on him.
But it's not me in those pictures. There's fakes all over the internet. They're digital.
The name, Mr. Monk.
It's not me.
Jesse Monk, I find you in contempt. Please take him into custody.
This is outrageous. He's a 12-year-old boy.
No, Mr. Ruff. The thing about people like the man who took your client's pictures is that they're like vampires. They feed on children, and they turn those children into little vampires. That's what you've become, a vampire. He's turned you into someone who will molest other children because you were molested, and I cannot allow that to happen.
But I'm not a vampire. I didn't do anything with him. I just let him take the pictures. That's all. I never let him touch me. I just let him take the pictures.
Who?
I only did it for the money. He gave us money and dope to take our clothes off and pose.
The name, Mr. Monk.
Scott Ronder. He's a janitor at my school.
Case dismissed. Please release Mr. Monk.
All rise. If we can get through all these truancy cases this afternoon, free up some time tomorrow for the Miller adoption.
Penny says you quit drinking.
That's right.
But she also says that you do not attend Alcoholics Anonymous?
Nope. Old-fashioned willpower. I love my family, I put them first, and I realized I had to quit drinking.
I would be more confident if you were in the program, and I think that Penny would be as well.
Well, I'm sure that Dave would go to AA if that was part of the deal. Right, Dave?
Miss Gray, a man can change if he's got reasons. I've got 3.
Penny says that, you haven't struck her recently.
That's 100%.
And she says that you're working regularly, contributing to the family's needs most weeks.
Uh-huh.
But according to Penny, you missed 3 payments.
I told you I was going to make that up to you.
And the last payment was short.
Seems like Penny's got a lot to say about a lot of things.
Yes, she's told me quite a bit.
Maxine, ask me.
You didn't have to answer.
Penny is required to answer my questions, Mr. Hadcoat, or risk losing her children. She says that you were evicted from your apartment.
Penny.
I never said it like that, Dave.
Why was Dave evicted?
Why don't you ask him? He's right there.
Penny, why was Dave evicted?
Go ahead, tell her. You tell her everything.
If I don't tell her, she's gonna take away the kids.
So tell her.
He had a bad day.
Tell her, Penny, just air out all our dirty laundry. No secrets.
It's just that he was just gonna...
That's why! Right there! Go ahead, tell her. Tell her.
No, he didn't hit me. That didn't count. It didn't count. You made a man on purpose. That
Sean,
shouldn't
please
count.
take
He
the
was
children.
fine until you did that.
Take it was the children.
You did that. No, don't take it.
Come in.
You wanted to see me?
Thanks for coming.
Hey, we play for the same team.
You chose me, didn't you? You sat around with your cop and attorney buddies and thought, which judge is stupid enough to fall for this? How about Amy Gray? She's a woman. She's divorced. She has a kid about the same age as Jesse. You didn't want me to recuse myself.
With all due respect, that's a little paranoid. Everything's worked out for the best. Jesse's going back to his foster parents. Police already picked up that sociopathic chew toy. The world's a better place.
Yeah, well, it's going to cost you.
I beg your pardon.
I don't come cheap. It's going to cost you.
Well, I have a certain amount of influence in some places if I could be of any help.
It's going to cost you Tobin Hayes.
I don't understand.
He's finished as a juvenile prosecutor. Get rid of him.
Tobin Hayes is a bulldog. He's the kind of guy we all want on the team.
If you're wondering if I'm serious, I am. If you don't believe me, put it to the test.
I'll need some time.
24 hours.
Can't do it? We are at a complete and utter stalemate.
He doesn't know when to say uncle.
It's not a wrestling match, Peter.
Nor is it a car loan, Mom. It's very complicated. Our side wants a 1760.
Our side?
We're all on the same side.
Well, Charles and I know differently.
You could always just not get married.
Try again.
Dad?
Try again. I'll tell you what let's do. Let's just the two of us leave these 2 bean counters here and go get us something to eat.
As long as it's nicer than where we had lunch.
I know the perfect spot.
Well, I guess it all worked out, huh?
From whose point of view?
I hoped you'd be happy.
Happy.
Well, it's over. Everybody got what they wanted.
I did not get what I wanted.
The case was dismissed.
I did not want to watch a judge abuse her power. I did not want to watch her intimidate and denigrate a child. I've been in the system for 27 years, and I've always found a way to serve my client and the judicial process without breaking any rules. You have no business wearing the robes.
Glad you could make it.
Can I talk to you for a sec? I know that I asked for this opportunity, but I didn't think it would come up so quickly. I don't think I can do it.
Afraid of knives? Blood? What?
I'm too tired.
Doctors don't get too tired.
I need to catch up on my sleep, just get my body.
So go grab a cup of coffee, splash some cold water on your face, and get a grip.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Fine.
Really, I am sorry.
Would you please send Heather in?
I need a couple of days to get accustomed to the lifestyle change.
You play golf?
A little in college.
Then you'll know what I mean when I say this was your mulligan. Enjoy it. It's the only one you get.
This place is perfect.
Well, it's nice to know that there are some things in the world that don't change. Remember the day we met? We were sitting right over there.
How could I forget it? You stuck me with a check.
Oh, if I hadn't, we probably wouldn't be here right now.
True.
Maxine, about this prenuptial disagreement.
No, forgive me. Let's chalk it up to prenuptial jitters. I love you, Jared Duff. Prince or pauper or anything in between.
You know I'd give you the world.
I don't want the world. I want you.
That you got. Well, there is just one thing I'd like to settle before we officially tie the knot. Do you mind?
No.
Yeah. Just so there's no misunderstanding later, I'd like you to just sign that at the bottom. Yeah, I think the waitress is a notary.
I, Jared Duff, being of sound mind and gobs of money, do hereby bequeath to Maxine Gray, in the event of death, divorce, or domestic boredom, all rights of ownership to the 22nd Street Diner. You bought the diner?
Well, I wasn't sure we'd be seeing each other again, so I just wanted some kind of little memento.
Most people would have just taken the salt shaker and...
Well, just sign.
Toasted cheese sandwiches for life.
We believe the man apprehended today is responsible for a large child pornography ring on the internet. He is in custody, held without bail, and we are confident he will be indicted and convicted.
Madam State's Attorney, who have you assigned to prosecute?
Prosecuting the case for us will be newly appointed Assistant State's Attorney Tobin Hayes, who was instrumental in the apprehension of the suspect. I believe this man's talents were greatly underused as a juvenile prosecutor. So, with the blessing of Chief Juvenile Prosecutor Jonathan Ashworth, we've pulled Mr. Hayes up.
He was there, in my yard!
Judge Gray, I've been here all night watching. I haven't seen anyone. Look, I'll look around. You go back inside. It's freezing. Go, 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 go. If he's here, I'll find him. Go.
Do you measure to the insides or the outsides?
Just the doors, I think.
Don't look at me. I like everything just the way it is. If you want to change my cupboards, you're on your own, especially on Sunday morning.
Measure everything.
Good morning.
Outside it's 34.5. By 24 and a very little bit.
Maxine, I hope you are not spending time redesigning your kitchen when you should be choosing wedding colors.
I assure you I am not.
Maxine, I need you to look at these samples and make some selections.
This is not how I like to spend Sunday morning, watching my kitchen being taken apart.
Mom, we are measuring for estimates, that's all.
Choosing wedding colors.
Shouldn't a pregnant lady be taking it easy?
I'd be taking it easy if Maxine simply chose a color.
Mother, please do this for me.
You can help me remodel the kitchen if you want.
I like blue.
Good blue. Blue is a perfectly acceptable color.
For your wedding gown, what about champagne white?
I can't find my permission slip.
It's stuck to the refrigerator.
Maybe we should go with ivory.
Sunday morning is when I sit in the kitchen with my once-a-week bowl of coffee and read the paper. Alone. Happy.
Well, Peter, we've obviously done enough for one day. Blue is the color of the wedding. That's a good beginning. Ta-ta, everyone. We'll talk soon.
Wonderful. I look forward to it.
You haven't signed it.
Well, I don't know if you can go.
The whole class is going.
Going where?
To the Natural History Museum.
Why can't she go?
Because I can't get off work to take her.
I've been on field trips without you before.
Well, not this time, okay? Hey, we can go later on today.
This is because of that guy, right?
You think I'm being overly protective?
I will not minimize your concern about a stalker.
And that guy gives me the creeps.
I could take her on one condition.
I can get extra credit for going as a peer mentor.
Thanks. What's the condition?
That you get the hell out of my kitchen for the next hour.
What about the cupboard?
Principal Harvey, when you received a phone call warning of a bomb...
Objection. It has not been proven to be an active explosive device.
Overruled. A bomb threat is just a threat until the bomb is found.
What was your response?
Well, we have a procedure for locking down the campus and evacuating.
Like a fire drill?
Except when word got out that there was a bomb, and there was a free-for-all. There were injuries to both students and staff.
Was a bomb found?
Yes, in a gym locker.
Objection. It has not been established that it was a bomb.
Timing is everything, Miss Westland. Sustained.
How was the object in question found?
Bomb-sniffing dog.
So the dog thought it was a bomb?
Objection. Principal Harvey is not a pet psychic.
Jeez, can't anybody take a joke?
Show some respect.
That's good advice. You've been charged with a felony count of being party to a bomb threat and attempted murder with an explosive device. I'm amazed and slightly horrified that you would find anything about this remotely humorous.
Your Honor, my client is simply anxious to tell his side.
He'll have his chance. Anything else, Mr. Petrie?
The state rests, Your Honor.
Then we'll hear from the defense.
At 2 o'clock this afternoon.
2 o'clock this afternoon.
Then the next guy who calls, he says, according to Jerry, you give great.
Yeah.
Am I interrupting a risque limerick?
No, Robert was just...
I was just telling him about obscene phone calls.
That's right, phone calls. Obscene ones.
Are you making these phone calls or receiving them?
Kimberly has been receiving them on her old extension.
Which is now mine, which means now I get 20 obscene calls a day.
Have you bothered to star 69 any of these calls?
Sure. They're from truck stop payphones along the interstate, mostly I-95.
Who's Jerry?
Well, from the sound of it, some kid who's been scribbling Kimberly's name on men's room walls with a list of her talents.
Why is this boy so angry at Kimberly? And, is he a client? And if so, what's he doing on I-95 hanging around truck stops?
Or maybe he's just an ex-boyfriend.
Sean, can you use that computer of yours to see if there's a Jerry in Kimberly's files? Perhaps he's a recent placement?
Maxine, Kimberly's files were divided among a dozen different social workers. Do you know how long that'll take?
Then I suggest we go straight to the source.
Kimberly? I don't want to talk to Kimberly. I fired Kimberly.
Are you going to call her, or shall I?
Fine.
Thank you, Sean.
Lieutenant Daniels, what are your qualifications for the construction, diffusion, and detonation of explosive devices?
My main qualification is I still got all my parts.
Lieutenant Daniels?
I had 15 years in the Hartford Bomb Squad.
And how would you classify the apparatus found in the gym locker?
I call it a reverse Trojan.
Could you explain to the court what that is?
The Trojan horse looked harmless on the outside, but it was full of danger on the inside. What the boy did was the reverse. The outside looked like a bomb, but inside it was no more dangerous than a bowl of oatmeal.
Excuse me. Who are you, sir?
Me. Name's Anthony Cangiano.
Do either of you claim this gentleman?
Well, I'm just here to observe.
This is juvenile court. There is no observing.
Well, what about his right to a public trial?
Juvenile court is different. This is a closed proceeding.
Secret trials. That sounds un-American, huh?
You're gonna have to go, Mr. Cangiano.
I'll be damned.
Sorry, Lieutenant Daniels. When you say that the device was no more harmful than a bowl of oatmeal, you mean that it was a fake? Or it didn't go off?
I'm saying that it wasn't a bomb. Maybe it was supposed to look like one, but it wasn't.
Then why did the bomb-sniffing dog find it?
Kid had the right ingredients. Swimming pool purifier, stirring rods, blasting caps. Stuff you get at the local hardware store for 20 bucks. That's what the dog found.
But he intended it to look like a bomb and smell like a bomb.
Objection. Lieutenant Daniels is not privy to my client's private thoughts.
Sustained.
My life coach, Wayne, encouraged me to come in and speak with you in person, despite the ruse de guerre you put me through.
The what?
Ruse de guerre.
No, the other thing.
My life coach.
Kimberly, does the name Jerry mean anything at all to you?
Wayne has taught me so much about giving myself permission to live up to my potential. He made me see that you took advantage of my open and generous nature and manipulated me into resigning my position at DCF when I really didn't want to. Wayne says that as an intelligent, compassionate being with an aptitude for social service, I must make my skills available to others.
For example, a boy named Jerry.
Maxine, I know your hostility is merely a projection of your own inner conflict. Wayne warned me of the emotional minefield you would make me step through if I decided to come back.
Come back? What do you mean, come back?
She's blackmailing us.
It's called reframing the experience. I'm just taking this opportunity to set my career, which you derailed, back on track.
You're willing to risk the welfare of a child in order to renegotiate your deal?
You know who Jerry is, correct?
I do. And if Jerry's in trouble, it's a load of trouble. Some kids are like that.
I don't see any other alternative.
What about a headlock? I can't believe you are going to consider rehiring this woman. Kimberly, out of common decency, you have to give us the name.
This is a letter stating that you're hiring me back.
Well, why don't you just get him to sign it in blood? You're not going to sign that,
Maxine,
are you?
You were the person who got me worried about this boy in the first place, and damn it, I'm going to do what I have to help him.
But you didn't even read it. For all you know, you just put her in charge of the department.
The name, Kimberly.
It's Jerry with a G, not a J, and he's a she. Jerry Sabina, 18 years old, and she's aged out of the system. She's not our problem anymore. See you tomorrow.
She hoodwinked us.
Us? Us?
Me then.
She is awful, Sean. What did you expect?
I thought there was a child in danger, and she was
Aged out of the system or not, this girl Jerry is still in trouble, and we must retrieve something good out of this. And find her, Sean. Find her.
Ms. Dorothea Mitchell was brought in late last night after being found unconscious on the street. She's been found to suffer from several secondary opportunistic infections due to her compromised immune system.
Compromised by what?
Well, you already told me. You might as well tell your boss.
Ms. Mitchell has breast cancer, quite advanced as she did not seek treatment. The cancer has metastasized to her lungs and liver.
My lungs are filling up with blood. I'm gonna die.
I suggest an aggressive treatment plan, the Taxol protocol.
I see.
Excuse us, Miss Mitchell. This is a publicly funded facility.
Yeah.
We can't afford to be wasteful.
Wasteful? Taxol has shown amazing results.
The Taxol protocol involves 3 treatments at $2,000 a pop, not including the lab work.
Her life is worth
The
more.
protocol will not save her life. It probably won't even prolong it.
It's our job to try and buck the odds.
It's my job to keep the hospital afloat. Don't give me that. The fact is we have limited resources. What we give to one patient, we literally take from another. That Taxol should be saved for someone who might actually survive the treatment.
So what exactly do you suggest we do for this woman? Knock her on the head with the hammer and drag her down to the morgue, or can't we afford a hammer?
We make her comfortable. We allow her dignity.
Judge Gray.
It ain't my quarter.
Here's enough.
I don't want your quarter, I want mine.
You know that guy Cangiano who came in the court? He's a Fed.
How do you know?
I ran his name. He came into our courtroom. That's my house.
That's your house?
I've served judges before you. Chances are I'll serve judges after you. Yes, that's my house.
FBI?
INS.
That doesn't make any sense. What does the INS want with Matty Carruthers?
I don't know.
Do that thing.
Oh, Judge Gray.
Come on, it's the principal. Thank you.
Maddie, why did you build a bomb?
It wasn't a bomb.
We've heard testimony in this court that it had many of the ingredients of a bomb.
It only looked like one. I just wanted to scare them.
Scare whom and why?
Well, I had a geometry test I wasn't ready for. My teacher said that if I failed it, I'd have to repeat the 9th grade. My dad would have lost it if that happened.
Mr. Cangiano, has something changed that suddenly gives INS agents special powers in juvenile court?
Yes, Your Honor. I got the appellate court to reverse your refusal to allow me to observe this proceeding.
Miss Westland, Mr. Petrie, are you aware of any immigration issues associated with this case?
No, Your Honor.
Not in the least, Judge Gray.
Counsel in my chambers. Mr. Cangiano, Mr. Carruthers. What is the INS's interest in this case, Mr. Cangiano?
With all due respect, Your Honor, it's better if I don't tell you.
Why?
Because it could affect your decision in the outcome of this trial.
Well, thanks for your concern.
You're welcome.
And now I'd like to know the INS's interest in this case.
If Matty Carruthers is convicted of a felony, I'm here to take him into custody.
The hell you are.
Why?
Is this because his mother was Afghani?
Unfortunately, so is your son, sir.
I'm an American. Maddie's American.
Mr. Carruthers, where was Maddie born?
Afghanistan. His mother and I met while I was stationed in the Mideast.
And how did he come to the United States?
Nula brought him on our passport and died while she was here.
But no formal declaration of citizenship was filed?
Maddie is my son. I'm an American citizen who served his country overseas. Doesn't that automatically make him an American citizen?
The Supreme Court ruled that maternal citizenship passes automatically, but paternal citizenship must be declared. In the eyes of the law, his son is a citizen of Afghanistan here illegally.
And if I convict him of a felony, then you take him into custody?
For how long?
Indefinitely, Mr. Carruthers. Non-citizens do not share our constitutional right to a speedy process.
You gotta be kidding me.
The boy's treatment at the hands of the INS is a collateral issue.
Well, knowing what we now know, Mr. Petrie, are you interested in modifying your charges?
No way I'm pleading him down. An Arab kid builds a bomb?
He's an American. He plays football.
He's a mediocre student who just wanted to get out of a test. Your Honor, the consequences of a felony conviction far outweigh any punitive action he may receive in your courtroom, and therefore have to be taken into consideration.
Again, what happens to Matty Carruthers beyond this court is not what's at issue. The state is not going to back down on these charges, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, I'll see everyone back in court Wednesday at 4.
Set them down with the others and have a seat. Are you coming down with something?
I should be so lucky. If I was sick, maybe she'd leave me alone.
About the wedding.
Yes, and her insatiable need for affection.
Oh.
And you do know what I mean by affection, right?
Yes.
I don't mean a quick hug.
I understand. During pregnancy, hormones play funny games. Let me get you some soup.
Are you learning trucker slang?
Excuse me?
I used to be into CBing.
When was that?
In the 80s.
Do you understand what that means?
Great 69. Great trucking company. 69 is the truck ID number. It's how the companies keep track of their rigs. The rest of this is pretty obscene.
Can they locate a truck with that?
With GPS technology, they could pinpoint it within a 10-meter margin of error.
Thank you, Peter.
What do I do about Jillian?
Your duty.
Hey, how long have I been a slave?
A little while.
This is what they call slipping in and out of a coma.
It's the Dilaudid. You shouldn't be experiencing any pain.
I'm not. Can you stop this wheezy sound when I breathe? It's interfering with my coma.
There's not much I can do about that.
What the hell can you do for me then?
We'll move you upstairs soon.
Oh, I'm not quite upstairs. We both know that. Oh, I know what I want.
What?
A snort of cognac. Really good stuff. I've never had it. My finances tended to run towards Ripple.
Alcohol's out of the question. You're on a very strong pain medication.
A sip of cognac. In front of a fire. My feet up. Some music. Ella Fitzgerald on the stereo. And a really good-looking man. Drink with me. Come on, sport. Help me out here.
Miss Mitchell, is there anyone I can call?
Not a one.
No one?
No one. You're my closest friend in the world, and you won't bring me a farewell drink?
He's not available to take the call, or he won't take the call. I see. Yes, thank you.
What's wrong?
Do you remember the brutality complaint I lodged against the police on Tim Lawrence's behalf?
Mm-hmm.
Ramifications. I am persona non grata with the police.
Maxine, I don't know why you're still wasting your time with Jerry. I told you, she's not our responsibility anymore. Thank God. She was an abrasive kid. I never could make a placement work for her. Ran away from everyone.
Do you ever wonder what this girl is doing in truck stop men's rooms?
I'm not responsible for Jerry being a prostitute.
Sean, when Jerry is found in a body bag, I, for one, am glad that I am not going to be on the other end of the feeding frenzy when the press comes to find out who failed this girl.
Yeah. The press will be looking for a scapegoat, won't they?
I could help you with the police. My life coach says not to fear exploiting all personal and professional liaison.
You have a liaison with the police?
What do you need?
I need the state police to ask the trucking company for the exact location of a particular truck. Then I need that truck stopped and searched.
No problem.
You wouldn't be taking advantage of a sexual relationship here, would you? Because that's not exactly the image of DCF I want portrayed to the world.
Hey, it's me. Yeah, I'm back in the saddle. Remember that little favor I did for you last month? Allowing you to speak to one of my cases without a guardian present? I'm calling in my mark.
Oh, blackmail is much better for our image than an exchange of sexual favors.
Yeah. Now, I need a phone call.
The good news is your stalker seems to have withdrawn.
Do stalkers do that?
Well, you're fairly well insulated. You work in a courthouse. I'm watching your house at night. Maybe the kid's smart enough to know he has to lay off.
Maybe he's just playing the smart.
No, I'm not saying it's time to relax. In fact, I'm suggesting you might be in for a long haul. You might want to explain that to your family.
Jason Lobdell is obsessed with me, not my family. And I especially don't want to alarm my daughter any more than necessary.
I understand.
I mean, how do I explain somebody like Jason Lobdell to a 9-year-old? Besides, I tell her, she'll tell her father, and he'll have even more grounds to take her away from me. Lauren knows to be cautious of strangers. We have a family password. We have an alarm. She knows to be careful.
Okay, my professional opinion, and I'm not taking into consideration custody concerns and the like, you need to tell her about this guy specifically.
Bruce thinks I should also inform my ex-husband.
How did I get into this? I never said that.
That's what you think. That it's his right as a father.
I'm a father. If someone was threatening my daughter, I would want to know about it. And if I didn't, it would make me angry. Very angry.
Maxine, what are you doing here?
I received a page.
Well, so did I.
I paged both names on the case file.
Which case?
Jerry Sabina. She's in critical but stable condition.
You found her?
Oh, for this young lady's tip, yes, we did.
I'm glad I could be of help, Detective.
She was being held captive by a trucker.
How is she?
Fractured pelvis, multiple hematomas, lacerations, burns, drugged.
What happened to her?
A trucker picked her up and decided she'd make a good plaything. Kept her handcuffed or drugged in the back of the cab.
For how long?
A couple of weeks. Tortured and raped her. She left graffiti asking for help when he let her use the facilities.
Would you like to see her?
That's not necessary. Good night.
If that young lady hadn't figured it out and given us a call, we might have ended up at the morgue instead of the hospital. That Kimberly's a keeper.
You're welcome to her. I'd like to see Jerry now. Is she coherent?
On and off.
Jerry? I'm Maxine Gray. I'm with the Department of Children and Families.
Where's Kimberly?
Where's Kimberly? Kimberly wanted very much to be here with you. But something came up at DCF, and she had to stay. So she asked me to come and look after you. Is there anything you need? Perhaps, ice chips. You look a little parched.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Oh, sorry.
Were you out all night?
Yes. What are you doing?
I'm making Lauren's lunch for her field trip.
Oh, my God. Is that today?
Oh, no.
No, don't worry. I will get a couple hours of sleep, and I will still be fine for the field trip.
I'm going to tell Lauren about the stalker tonight.
Good.
I have to tell Michael.
I think you do, yes.
Oh, goody, Maxine, you're still here. I found this gorgeous satin fabric in sky blue. It goes perfectly with the ivory.
Are you really going with blue?
I may have mentioned that I like the color blue.
Sky blue, like Robin, but not quite as bold. Blue washes me out. And the florist can make pale blue hydrangea centerpieces.
If you don't like blue, Amy, we could always change to burgundy.
No, actually, we can't.
Well, everybody looks good in burgundy.
No, actually, they don't.
Jillian, I don't see why we can't
Maxine,
change to
I've spent the last 24 hours combing this city for every sky blue china pattern, floral display, fabric swatch, and cake topper that I could find. I've arranged for the reception at the Athenaeum to have a special sky blue lighting design. The printer mixed sky blue ink for the invitations. I even got the driver of the carriage that I hired to transport you and Jared to the church to allow me to dress his horses in handmade sky blue velvet saddle covers. Do you know how much it costs to make sky blue velvet saddle covers? No. And now you're just going to casually say, oh, we can go with burgundy instead, just because Miss Melena challenged here doesn't think it goes well with her skin tone. Sky blue and ivory are the colors you picked, and you are sticking with it, lady. Like it or not.
Jillian, I think that sky blue and ivory are lovely colors.
They sure as hell are. Excuse me.
Thank you, Mom.
Good morning, Judge Gray.
Mr. Cangiano, since you are so conversant with the law, you must be aware that I cannot discuss a case without lawyers present.
Well, I don't want to discuss the case. Cup of coffee, double cream, double sugar.
How do you know how I take my coffee?
Wow. I'm an agent of the federal government. We keep tabs.
What do you want, Mr. Cangiano?
I want you to understand that I'm simply an agent of the INS.
Okay.
I do as I'm told. Policies made by giants and carried out by dwarves. Me, I'd rather be chasing down terrorists with forged visas or busting sweatshops than deporting some pimply-faced motherless kid to Afghanistan.
Okay, you're a dwarf. We can't discuss the case.
I know. It's just that if you convict Maddie Carruthers, I gotta do something that I really don't want to do.
Forbidden territory.
Okay. Okay. Well, for the sake of my conscience, I had to try, right?
Mr. Cangiano, let me ask you a question about a Swedish kid.
What, from Sweden?
Yeah. Let's say this kid from Sweden is convicted of a felony. What happens to him?
I slap a pair of cuffs on him before he's out the door.
You hold him indefinitely or just until his citizenship issues are resolved?
I wish that was the scenario. What happens is I escort him to the airport, and he's put on the first plane to Sweden.
You deport a 13-year-old boy?
Giants and dwarves, Judge Gray.
Well, what happens to him in Sweden?
It's up to them.
Best guess.
Well, all right, Sweden doesn't have the social structure that we have, so most likely the kid's put in the army.
The army?
The average military recruit in Switzerland is...
Sweden.
Between 12 and 15 years. And the Swedes have been at war, on and off, for 50 years, which is a pretty damn stiff sentence for a kid who just wanted to miss a geometry quiz.
Well, thank you, Mr. Cangiano. I've enjoyed this conversation. And next time, double sugar, no cream.
You awake? Ms. Mitchell. It's Dr. McCarty.
Sweet, sweet boy.
With a very short career path. Now, it's not top of the line. I'm afraid that was a little out of my price range.
So good stuff. You're gonna make me drink alone?
I'm sober, Miss Mitchell.
I lived a long life. Made lots of mistakes. That wasn't one of them. Thank God. Every time I do this, blood comes out one end and pee comes out the other.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's good.
You can't taste it, can you? It's called anosmia. It's the medication. You lose your sense of taste, smell.
If I lose an X, my hearing and my sight. I always knew I'd never get to taste the good stuff.
All right, let's get to the carnivorous dinosaur reenactment. Bloodthirsty little heathens.
Grandma.
Come on, let's hurry!
I like it here. It's peaceful.
Excuse me?
It's peaceful for the dinosaurs.
That's because the dinosaurs are dead, Eric.
Hey, Maxine, I got one for you. Why did the dinosaur cross the road? Because the chicken wasn't invented yet.
You have been spending far too much time with 9-year-olds. Speaking of which... Lauren? Lauren?
Lauren?
Lauren? Lauren? Lauren? Lauren, where are you?
Lauren!
Oh my God. Is that him? Lauren! Lauren, come here! Get away from me, Lauren! Help! Police! Get away from her! I didn't mean to scare you.
The prosecution contends that Matty Carruthers made a bomb with the intention of causing property damage, injury, and death. The defense suggests he made something that looked like a bomb simply to get out of a geometry test. He called it a bomb threat. Everybody agrees on that. Would a real bomber have done that? Probably not. He would have let the bomb speak for itself. Therefore, I am finding on the lesser included offense of misdemeanor public endangerment and find him guilty of threatening with a false explosive device.
That means a 1, right?
I wouldn't be celebrating yet, Mr. Carruthers. Calling it a bomb threat, whether or not the bomb is real, is a serious offense, especially in the current climate. I'm ordering that you make restitution to the school and the students for the property damage and the injury sustained. And I'm sentencing you to 600 hours community service under the supervision of DCF for the period of 364 days.
So did I win or lose?
What about the INS?
Well, Mr. Carruthers, any misdemeanor with a sentence less than a full year, and the INS cannot deport your son.
So he gets a walk.
No. Matty Carruthers deserves punishment. What he did was deplorable. But that punishment shouldn't include exile and possible death, which is what deportation to Afghanistan amounts to.
So Your Honor is admitting that collateral consequences influence the ruling.
Yes. My Honor is admitting to that. Mr. Carruthers, I suggest that while Mr. Petrie works up his appeal, you try to solidify your son's citizenship.
Judge Graceford.
Next case.
Okay. Judge Gray, your mother says you're needed at home as soon as possible.
Where is she? Is she okay?
She's fine. She had a bath.
She's more upset about Eric than anything else.
You stood up to him.
I didn't do any good. Lauren is here, isn't she? We're lucky Eric was there.
You're my hero, Eric Black.
Some hero I lost the fight. Which gives the police just what they need to arrest this Lobdell person. I'm very proud of you.
I'm okay. But he hurt Eric.
I know.
It was that man from work.
Yeah. Yeah. He's from work, but not in a good way.
He's a criminal?
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell me before?
I should have. But I was afraid, and I didn't want to make you afraid, too. I didn't want to scare you.
Was he trying to kidnap me?
We don't know what he was doing. He wants to be part of our life, but he can't. He's dangerous, and we don't want him anywhere near us, okay? But I've called the police, and we have the alarm, and I've taken every precaution, and I promise I won't let anything happen to you.
We're lucky Eric was there.
You are a very lucky girl. You have a lot of people who love you and would do anything to protect you.
You have the right to remain silent. Should you choose not to, anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
Amy?
What's going on?
They're arresting Eric for assault? This is ludicrous.
This is the boy that was attacked.
It's okay.
Ma, see if Cross is back. This boy prevented my daughter from being kidnapped. Look at his eye. He's the one that was assaulted.
We have a witness who says this boy attacked Mr. Lobdell first.
Well, there's been a mistake. Jason Lobdell, he has been stalking me. Let Eric go, and I will take full responsibility.
Ma'am, you get your hand off me or I'll place you under arrest. You're interfering with a peace officer in the execution of his duties.
She's a judge.
Then she'll understand the ramifications.
Fine. Take us both in.
Amy.
Be sensible. You're a judge. Work it through the system.
It's okay. I will be all right.
I am not leaving this boy's side, so you might as well handcuff us both right now.
Look, he's in handcuffs.
Let him go, officer.
Why should I?
Because I'm a detective in an elite unit and you're not.
If he doesn't present himself by 9 a.m., I'll be back.
I'm going to arrest Lobdell right now. The best defense is a good offense. I just hope he resists arrest.
Stay with us tonight. I'll call Sean and let him know.
Ms. Mitchell, how do you feel? Here's to you. You can taste it, Miss Mitchell. It's the good stuff. You taste that on your tongue? Sure you do. It tastes just like you thought it would. There's a fire in it, like you said. A fire in the hearth of a home with a fence and a man who lives just to be with you. tastes like the laughter of people who love you. Can you taste it?